Good morning.
Sorry, just to take some time. Okay, we are a little bit delayed, but I think that we will manage. Okay, Paul. So the next speaker is Paul Bradbury, who will talk about his experience, how to promote your product and specifically destination. He is son of Flower Island, where he actually lives today. It is from 2003. Born in Manchester, so I think most of you know about Manchester United. Are you fond of Manchester United?
Unfortunately, Aston Villa is my...
Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to steal your time. Also, after we finish with Paul's presentation, we will have a very, very short coffee break. So I really want you back as soon as possible. It's internet to be blamed, but please understand that we would like to speed up the process, so to be able to take a lunch in the proper time and leave for the excursion and the workshop. Thank you so much.
Good morning. I haven't spoken in public since 2002 in Japan, and on that occasion I was for some reason addressing the professors of the University of Hiroshima on the Middle East peace process. And in the audience they had the Muslim head of the Middle Eastern Studies Department and a very, very vocal American Jew, who both knew a lot more about the presentation than I did. So I'm hoping it's going to go a bit better today. I don't have a sexy PowerPoint like Ilya, he's a professional at this thing. But we were talking yesterday a lot about storytelling, and so I do have a story to tell you. And it's something that's applicable any country in the world, and it's how to go from having absolutely zero experience in tourism to running a national sustainable tourism business in fairly easy steps. I started blogging 5 years ago, and I took some advice from a successful blogger. I said, what do bloggers need to do to be successful? And the response was 5 words. 5 words of advice. Give people what they want. Give them really good content, give them excellent information, and they will come back for more. So, for example, now with one of our websites, I've written the ultimate guide of how to get from Split to Dubrovnik. And it's how you get through the Nerm corridor in Bosnia, how you get there by bus, hydrofoil, and everything else. And we're now number 1 on Google for that particular search term. And in the season, we get 600 to 700 hits every single day on that particular article. And those people, they're first-time visitors because they want to know how to get from Dubrovnik to Split. And then when they find this amazing free advice, they trust the website and they say, what else is there? Now we have restaurants that are our partners and everything else, and so they start trusting our things. But I started one day, I was having a beer on my local cafe in Yeltsin in the square, and I saw this man, tourist, walking through the square with a copy of Lonely Planet Croatia, which is a good book, but it only had this much on the Alpha. And so I was talking to him, and he said, this is a beautiful island. It's like Suarez is one of the 10 most beautiful islands in the world, funniest island. I was born in rain in Manchester, so I should know. And but he said it's just the information here is terrible. There is just no quality information about this island. And I've been living there for several years, and I've heard the same thing time and time again. And so I decided, I'd had too much beer, that I would write a guidebook for the island. And so 3 months later, starting from scratch, I had a 220-page guidebook for the island of Var, the first modern guidebook about the island. And it was patchy in parts, I didn't really know certain things, but it was there and it was very successful, and locally we learned things about our island because of this book. And so at the end of the season, I started thinking, and I thought, could I do something online? Could I do a website for the island of Var? And if I could, and if I could if I could become number 1 for the information providing, maybe then I could do partnerships with speedboat transfers, with tourist agencies, with restaurants and everything else, and I could get a commission or something like that. And so I was surprised to learn that on the island of Var there are 5 tourist boards. So it's a small island, but they only promote their individual town or region, and they very rarely work together. It's one of the things that the tourist is a bit strange, I think. So my idea was to finance myself was I would go and talk to the tourist boards and say, this is my idea. I'm basically going to be complementing what you do, but I'm going to bring everything together in English. We're going to have YouTube videos embedded and everything and bring the experience. And they all said to me, this is a fantastic idea. You have our full support. And I was really happy. So I said, okay, so can we talk about money? And they said, no, we said full support. We didn't say financial support. And that was a kind of a bit of a lesson for me because I'd already started and I had to speak to my family and it was all, I knew I had a good idea. And then I was having a coffee with a friend of mine who was a tourist agency in Zagreb. And he said to me, you know, your guidebook is fantastic, your articles are great. You're the only one who's doing anything to promote Zagreb as a destination. And if you really will put the islands together, if you really will give the energy to stay and promote Zagreb and you promote our agency, we'll give you €500 a year. And I was like, what? I was so shocked. I went home to my cafe and I told the owner the story and he said, well, I'll give you 500, what you're doing is fantastic. And then I realized that if I could get enough quality businesses who had an interest in promoting the destination and having themselves promoted on that destination, I could do my own independent website and I could really focus on the people that mattered, my clients, and I could really do amazing things for the islands and bring it all together. And Total Bar has been going now for 4.5 years. I've written 8,000 articles just about Bar. Everything from what happens in kindergarten to the nightclubs and everything else. And the year after I started, somebody said to me, why don't you do Total Split? And I said, well, I don't know Split. Split, I've been here 10 years, but to me Split is three things. It's transit to Zagreb, it's hospital with kids, and it's shopping for the wife. And but it's always last ferry. Because my nightlife experience is really good here. And he said, I'll help you. I have somebody, there is no website for Split. And I'm like, there must be 200,000 people, it's a big tourist town. And there was nothing in English. So I said, okay. So I was going 3 times a week on the 6 o'clock catamaran from Elsa to Split, and I'll be home at 11 at night, and I'll go around and I'll read these things. And, we did a guidebook for Split, we did a guidebook for Hua, we had the website, Total Split, now the biggest website for Split. And I went to the Split Tourist Board, and they told me that they'd give me their full support. So I came out with a CD of photographs and stuff, and so I was getting a bit frustrated. And then I met Joshko Stella, who's the Central Dalmatia, who gave us a great speech yesterday. And I felt brave enough to go and speak to him. I have 2 guidebooks for his destination, 2 websites, and I went to see him, and I was just about to give my presentation, and he said, Paul, I'm not going to give you any money. And I was like, you asshole, and I actually kind of almost got up to walk out, and then he finished the sentence. He said, I'm going to offer you a job. And I was like, so then he said, what you're doing is fantastic. I'd like you to be the official blogger for the Central Dalmatian Tourist Board. And I was like, okay, that's money from the tourist first thing. And I was really shocked, and actually it's very proud. And I can call myself the official Central Dalmatian Tourist Board blogger, so that gives me a bit more credibility than what I was doing. So, and then what Joshua did was he then emailed all the tourist boards in Central Dalmatia offering my services. And through that, I got to meet, I went to destinations I'd never even heard of, like Vrlika and Friedel and places like that. And what I found in Imotski and what I found in Dugopolje and what I found in King was young, really enthusiastic people who were doing amazing things in isolation. And, so who's going to go to Imotski as a destination? Who's going to get seen? They're totally different experiences. So I said, why don't we do a website called Total Inland Dalmatia? So we started Total Inland Dalmatia with support from Joshua. He's been financing part of it with the local tourist boards, and I then had this cooperation with the local tourist boards, which is great. So that's basically what happened, and that's how I started. And then 8 months ago, we decided to go into the news because Croatia's EU for 2 years now. There isn't a single website in English about news every day about Croatia, which is crazy. So we started it, and we're now Google News affiliated, so we have everything goes out very quickly to Google, gets indexed within a minute. Now our editorials are quoting Huffington Post. We have lots of links from Washington Post, from Deutsche Zeitung, from the BBC and so on. I now have 44 people writing for Total Croatian News. 41 of them are volunteers. They include Jadranka Kosor, the former Prime Minister. We have Vesna Pusic, former Foreign Minister, starting next month. And, it's going extremely well, and it's becoming the face of Croatian news internationally. But I kept thinking about tourism, and I kept thinking about why I wasn't getting some support from tourist boards and stuff. This is not a presentation to bash the tourist boards, in case people think it is. But there was one project that really, and this is the reason I'm speaking today, that really made me angry. It was called Croatia 365. And this was a great idea to prolong the season in Croatia by taking 6 sectors, culture, cycling, adventure tourism, wellness, fitness, and food and drink, and to really promote everything throughout the country. And, I was very interested in this project, and I didn't get to work on the project, that's okay. But 2 months ago, on the 18-month anniversary, I decided to take a closer look at what's been achieved after 18 months. And what I found was disappointing, let's call it. And so I wrote an article about a close look, and I did a blow by blow. And I went to bed, and I woke up in the morning, and there were messages from the Croatian media for quotations and everything else. And it became the number 2 story in Croatia that day about how this English guy was, his comments and everything else. 2 things happened. The first thing that happened was I had a phone call from the Ministry of Tourism and a phone call from the director of the Croatian National Tourist Board inviting me for a coffee. So I went for my coffee, and I'm happy to say that I think we're almost there on an agreement to work together with the Croatian National Tourist Board on a couple of projects, so that's positive. But much more interesting what happened was I got lots of emails from all over the country, from Međimurje, from Slavonia, from Krk, from the little guy. And the little guy says, Paul, thanks for writing this. I have a cycling project in Podgorica. Well, no idea what Podgorica is. And, do you have time to have a look at it? And I looked at it, and I was just blown away. This guy, on his own, had 9 cycle routes. He had a Google Earth video of all the routes. He had photographs of every way you turn, every single thing. He had the restaurants, he had everything perfect. And I was like, wow. So I thought, and I've got other things. And so I thought, why not do a section on Total Croatian News called Meet the Heroes of Croatia 365. Let's celebrate the little guy. Let's make him a hero for a day and everything else. And let's show people that it is possible. So I did this kind of project, and he was thrilled, obviously. And then the result of that was more emails, more little guys coming forward. And so I celebrated a few more, and they were thrilled, and then more things came out. And the one topic that really came up a lot, for some reason, was cycling. And everybody talks about Croatia as a cycling destination, and there are some amazing things. We've got Tour of Croatia starting, we've got the Four-Island mountain bike thing starting. And there's, like in the major pockets, this. There's no national website for cycling, and it's a huge potential for Croatia, huge. So I was talking to a few people, and I said, how difficult would it be to do a national website for cycling? And I thought, basically what I need is a bit of money. I have my web developer. We now have this brand of Total Croatia logo. I have my web designer. If I could get a few guys in cycling to give me some money, and maybe a committee of 3 or 4 cyclists who could really get that information from the little guy and coordinate with my writers, then we have a website. And so I can exclusively reveal, if I can find it. It's already done though. Where's the mouse thing? Sorry, can I have a bit of help on? Could you just put on that? Total Croatian Cycling, which went live this morning. In fact, world premiere, there we go. And basically the concept is, let's celebrate cycling. So my concept, if I can get out a little bit, you can see, okay, it's quite well, but yeah. So you can see, so this is just the homepage for now. So this is just to show, but that's basically the concept all the way down, like hospitality and everything else. Okay, so, and you know, you can go to the website and look at it, but it's just the homepage for now. And basically, you know, how hard is it? You know, we go here, we've got Croatia for cycling, so we'll have every single destination in Croatia. We'll have a map, and it will have 5 different colours. It'll have red for races, it'll have yellow for shops and rental places, it'll have green for hospitality, including hostels, hotels, everything else. It'll have something else for tourism and blah blah blah. You know, we've got fueling in Croatia, which apparently cycling them on amazing. And that will deal with all these sort of restaurants and everything else, and we'll focus on those. We'll have the whole races and rides, all the events that happen in Croatia, and there's lots of them. There's lots of really small ones, and we'll have them all in a thing, so where to buy your bicycle, maps, and then tourism that we have. And to get this done is actually quite simple. There are 3 things that you need. You need money, you need a coordinator to actually get that information, and you need bikers. Now, I don't have money and I don't have a coordinator, I didn't, but now I do. And I basically incentivize people in the cycling community, so we can do this for you, you get me the money. And I want 3 people to work on this, to really work on my license and stuff. So far, we haven't even launched it, and I'm hoping there's going to be interest from some people here. But we've had a great response from, and money committed from the regional tourist boards, the national tourist board like it, we're looking at procedures, some local tourist boards, some hotels, some race event people, the 4 island